Hello everybody, Intuition here. Thank you as always for making time and space for us. Today we would like to talk about sadness and how that leaks into depression. It is important to understand that sadness is usually revolving around an expectation that you had for yourself or somebody else that did not get met. You expected to get the job, but you didn't. You expected that you would meet somebody at a certain time, however, they didn't show up. You expected that you would be treated in a certain way, however, you were not treated in that certain way. And usually, again, when that expectation is not met, either by yourself or by an external factor, you become sad about it because you've over-identified with the expectation and thinking that it should go this way, that it needs to go this way, that when it doesn't go this way, you are lost in understanding why it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, and you become sad. And so, in you becoming sad because your expectation was not realized and made manifested in physical reality, what happens is you usually continue to ruminate over it. And you ruminate over it because you were looking for closure and an understanding as to, again, why it didn't happen for you. And that is the beginning of the compression. It becomes a compression because, again, it is a bunch of externalized factors that are affecting you. You are like a breath. When you breathe out, you are expanding in that sadness because you are trying to understand why it didn't happen for you. Why was my expectation not met? And as you're expanding, you are moving your energy out in a way that enables you and your idea, energetically of course, that if I expand out more, then I'll be able to understand why things again did not happen in the way that I saw fit. How do I need to rearrange my expectations that then therefore they will be realized next time? But if you keep on expanding, it will create a compression within yourself because it takes a lot to expand, to try and find closure, the closure it is that you're looking for, to not feel sad. And so as you expand, you become compressed within yourself. And then if that becomes acute enough and you keep on compressing, then you become depressed. And depressed is just decompressing the compression that you placed on yourself when you expanded your energy, trying to find a solution to the expectation that you felt should have been met in the first place. So again, if sadness is more based on an externalization as you continue to expand your energy and on external factors that did not come to fruition in the way that you wanted them to, when you start decompression and going into depression, you then retract your energy and it comes back into you so that you could take what it is that you feel that maybe you've learned out here and bring it in so that you have more of an awareness of why, again, the things did not happen for you in the way that it needed to. So out here it was, wow, it's crazy that I didn't get this job when you were in the compression stage. But when you start your depression, it becomes, well, I didn't get this job because I suck. Because when you expand again, it is all about trying to find solutions to why you didn't get that expectation realized, but when it comes in, then you were looking for closure. And in that closure, you are willing to grab onto anything. Usually it is self-deprivation and saying, well, I am a piece of crap and that's why I didn't get this job. I suck. I don't see my value and my worth, and neither did they, and that is why, again, I am jobless. So all of that is simply to find a solution and receive closure to the expectation that you feel was not realized or met that is making you feel depressed. So depression is really, again, all about decompressing the expectation that you had, that you over-identified with to begin with. So if that is what depression is really all about, then it is as simple as understanding the expectation that you had that is now making you move into this state of depression. Well, you could say, no, it is not as simple as that. It is not as simple as the idea of an expectation. I had a very terrible hot childhood, and that is why I'm depressed. And why did you have a terrible childhood? Is it because your parents did not meet your expectation about being better parents? Is it because you were bullied in school and people did not meet your expectation about being better people? Is it about your teachers and they did not lend you a positive educational experience as you would have expected them to? Usually, again, it comes down to the idea of an expectation. And if it comes down to the idea of an expectation, which it will, then what were you expecting and why did you expect it? Because anytime you have an expectation, you are going to be let down. That doesn't mean that it is not good for you to have hopes and dreams and wants out of a situation. But if you expect things to be in a certain way, they will never be exactly how you expect them to be. So you will always be let down. Because you cannot make other people behave in the way that you would like them to behave. You cannot control outside circumstances that are outside of yourself and expect them to act in accordance to how you would see things. So really, anytime you have an expectation, it is an unrealistic one. Because they will not be met in the way that you are framing it and making it rigid in the boundary, because an expectation is insisting on an outcome. And if you're insisting on an outcome, then you are becoming resistant. And if you're becoming resistant, then you're not allowing the natural flow and process of things to occur. Which means that you're just getting in your own way. Which, again, would make anybody sad and depressed. So we offer this information to hopefully minimize the time in which you go through your sadness, the time in which you go through your depression, because if we realize that it is really just based on an expectation that was unrealized, we can look at what it is that we were expecting to happen and figure out and problem solve why we thought that it would happen in that way and what we would have gotten out of it happening in that way. Which may, again, give you the closure that you were looking for in your decompression state. But just food for thought. What do we know? We're just intuition. So, as always, we are full of gratitude for you making space and time for us, and we wish you well in your endeavors. And now that you know how simple it is to move out of some of these states, we know that maybe we don't need to wish you well. Maybe wellness is already right at your door. So, good luck.